We've all been to an amusement park, right? You've been, I've been, we've all at least been or seen one. Well, that is what we're covering a little bit of today. So, I wanted to get into amusement park disasters. Hey guys, I'm Brett. Welcome back to Truific Pod, and this is, well, the only location that I could currently record in that doesn't have toddler music playing in it. So, let's get into it. We are going to be talking about some of the biggest amusement park disasters. Now, I do not know about you guys. I myself am horrified of amusement park rides. I will go on some of them. It just depends on, basically I've realized I can do rides pretty okay for a degree if they're going like this. Now the ups and downs, that's where you lose me. You lose me completely there, because once I get up here, I want to jump. So that's a no-go for me. And that's how a lot of people also feel with amusement rides. Which is obviously the point to a degree, but also your instinct shouldn't take over. And sometimes it does. We all know the feeling that we get when we go to amusement parks, or at least I do. I remember I was 13 and my mom gave me the ultimatum to go to Six Flags and ride every ride or stay at home while the rest of the family went. And I was 13, I'd been left at home alone maybe, at least at my grandmother's house. My grandmother's house was extremely creepy. I hated being there alone. It still creeps me out to be upstairs. I had a doll room at the time that my grandmother put together for me, which was, you know, I'm sure cute for her age and era, but it was nightmare fuel to sleep in there for years. So I opted to go to Six Flags. Well, she was not bluffing, like at all. She was like, listen, you get on every ride except for this one ride because I myself will not even do it. So I'm not gonna make you do it. But I do remember that she had to drag my 13-year-old big crybaby butt through the queue by my fucking hands, screaming and punching and fucking going all in. Because I just didn't want to get on the rides, dude. It was just horrifying. I thought I was gonna die on all of them. And then I remember by the end of it, me and my grandma went on the Superman ride, and I was having the fucking time of my life. I didn't understand how the shit I could do a ride that tilts you from this degree to where you're hanging, freebound, looking down at the ground the whole time. But I guess I just zoned out so hard on the fact that I was potentially Superman for fucking 15 minutes that I just completely forgot. But a lot of the cases I'm about to talk about right now, unfortunately, the worst of the worst happened in their scenarios. So we're gonna go over a few of those right now. Now, our first trouble in Wonderland begins on June 25th, 2023. And this takes place in Wonderland, which is Sweden's oldest amusement park. And this took place on the Jetline roller coaster. Now, this roller coaster had derailed and partially came off the tracks with 14 people inside the cart. Some passenger was thrown off. One man survived by hanging onto the rail of the coaster before they were rescued. And only one person died on this incident. As of now, it's under investigation still because this is pretty current. It just happened 2023. So they're still investigating it. The issue hasn't been found yet as to what happened or to what caused the cart to fall off the rail. But either way, This is like all of our worst fears come to life. And I'm just gonna say it. If you guys have not experienced, because I know a lot of you are younger than me, there is a series of movies called Final Destination. Go home, watch all of them, and tell me after watching the one that includes the amusement ride or the tanning bed. Those two traumatized my ass as a kid. Oh my god. So yeah, I've only been to a tanning bed once, and I've been to an amusement park probably 5 or 6 times. And I'm very picky choosy over the rides that I will get on, let me tell you what. Because I watch too many videos on amusement park rides gone wrong. This next one begins in summer of 2010, and this is an Extreme World, an amusement park in Wisconsin. So, 12-year-old girl gets on a ride called Terminal Velocity, and the ride took riders over 100 feet without a harness and dropped them into a net, right? So this family drove all the way from Florida to come experience this and visit this park and ride this. And it did not go the way that they thought it was going to. So, let me tell you, the operator mistakenly took her to the top, right? She's all the way up, and she somehow, I don't know how you forget to do this because it seems like a very crucial part of this ride. And I feel like if you're operating this, you would kind of pay real close attention to the steps in this process, as it could potentially kill someone or injure them for the rest of their life. So they forgot to place the net, and she was released and sent straight to the concrete. She fell directly onto the cement and broke her back, her pelvis, and suffered brain damage along with a ton of other shit. Now, miraculously, she is alive. Her name is Tegan, and her parents ended up suing and settling with the park, and the operator was obviously, as he should have been, charged with negligence of not operating the ride to complete safety standards. The event takes place in June 2024, and this is very, very current. And this is at Oak Park, which is an amusement park in Portland, Oregon. 28 people ended up dangling upside down while stuck on the Atmosphere, which is a drop tower type of ride, where they take you up, and then they'll drop you, and drop you, and drop you, and drop you, and bring you back up, drop you some more. And so they do that. Well, they ended up stuck during that ride, and they were left hanging for 30 minutes.
I thought it would very well be the end of my life.
Hazen Haythorne had ridden Atmosphere at Portland's Oaks Park before and never felt unsafe. That's until Friday, when he says he took the ride for the last time.
And then it started going to the top, and then it came, and then I was like, oh, here's the part where it goes 360. And then it went 360. I was still spinning like this for a second, but it wasn't moving backwards. And I was like, oh, this is really weird. I'm sure it's just like a falter.
Hazen was one of 28 people that were stuck hanging upside down for a full half hour that afternoon.
A minute passed, and I was like, this might be more serious than I may have deduced.
The spinning stopped, but the waiting had just begun. It didn't take long for him and those around him to fear the worst.
I heard like screaming, crying, just pleas for help. It was really discomforting.
Also discomforting, the hanging itself.
Gravity was pulling me down, but the seat was keeping me in, so everything was pressuring me against like the harness that was coming over me. So I can still feel soreness in my arms and my hips from that.
Like my heart was pounding and I'm like, it was really scary.
Lily Dixon watched in horror from below. She was supposed to get on with Hazen and their other friends, but got out of line at the last minute.
So my blood pressure is like abnormally low. Yeah, so I'm like, if I would have gotten on that ride, like I don't even know what would have happened. Like that could have been like really serious for me.
They both.
Before the crew got there, all of the passengers thankfully ended up okay, but the shakeup of this event is pretty big. I would not be riding this ride again, for sure, if this happened. Next occurrence I'm talking about is June 2008. This is taking place at Six Flags Over Georgia, and I actually remember this happening. I was relatively young when hearing about this, but I live just a state. I'm from Alabama, so I live a state over from Georgia, and we went to Six Flags Over Georgia pretty regularly, like at least every summer or two. So that was the main one that we would go to, and this event happened there when I was about 12. The park has a few cool rides, and I've actually ridden the ride that took this kid's life a few times. 3-4 times at least. And it's one of the more theatrical rides, the rides that makes you feel like you're a superhero or part of the Batcave or, you know, the Riddler. They have the Riddler there. And so on June 28, 2008, a young boy near the Batman ride is basically determined as hell to get this hat back that he lost on the ride before. So what does this kid do? He hops the fence, which is a huge no-no because of this. And so the kid hopped the fence and went into the restricted area. And he went to go retrieve his hat. Well, he picked the worst timing to do this because the second that he went to go under the car to grab, or under, I guess, to wherever the hell the hat was, underneath it, he was hit. And the passing train that hit him automatically decapitated him. Gone. Gone. Head gone. Life gone. Everything gone. All from an amusement park ride in a second. That's all it took, was a second. That's why they scared the shit out of me. I don't get panicked the same way that I immediately feel panic in my chest when pulling up to an amusement park. So this next one is actually about 20-25 minutes down the road for me. I've also been there. It's called Elitch Gardens Theme Park, and it is an amusement park in Denver, Colorado. And it's actually a really fun park. I didn't have any issues with it. My fiance didn't have any issues with it. But in 2002, in May, there was a little bit of a mishap. On May 26, 2002, a guest with Down syndrome had accidentally opened his seatbelt. And this is kind of the instance that I was talking about in the beginning. He undid his seatbelt restraint while on the Rainbow Ride. And while the ride was in motion, the 28-year-old man stood up and immediately fell to his death, and witnesses claim to have seen himself undo the restraint. So nothing really came about this because obviously, you know, that was something that he himself had done. In this case, it was the rider. It was not the person that put the kid in the device. So, yeah, that happened in 2002. This next one is January 1984. Disneyland, an amusement park in California. And on January 3rd, 1984, a woman entered Matterhorn bobsleds, which at the park, I don't think it's there anymore. I'm pretty sure they renamed it and redid the ride. But she got on this ride, and it was called Matterhorn bobsleds. And she got on, and while on the ride, she fell and was hit by another car and died then and there, right on the spot. May 1984, Six Flags Great Adventure, which is in Jackson Township, New Jersey. And this was on May 11, 1984. Whew, okay, so kids would board the exciting new sky ride at the thrill park, and 8 teens climbed aboard, but in midair, in these gondola cars, these 8 teens heard this big, loud, just a pop, and soon after, smoke and flames just burst out, and they're trapped on these gondolas in midair with nothing else to do. And so the kids were trapped in their restraints, they couldn't escape, and the smoke and flames took them all and died. And this was the worst in U.S. history. This is in 1984. Now guys, you can say that safety changes a lot over the years. You can say what you want. I'm one of those people. I believe that machines can only do so much. We believe, and we have been implemented to believe, that they are the answer all, that they are, 100 times more intelligent than we are. Guess what? You want to know who does the language for the machines that run? Humans. Humans tell them what to do. Are humans perfect? Do we have problems in our algorithms? Abso-freaking-lutely. So why in the world would you think that you have 0% chance of dying on an amusement ride? Or at least getting highly injured? Yeah, it's like, I don't even know the statistics, I'll look it up, but it's a slim chance to get into an amusement park accident, but it is still there. You are more likely to get into like a motorcycle accident, but there's no safety on a motorcycle. There's a little bit of safety with amusement rides, but at the same time, I feel like I would rather go on a motorcycle with no safety, period, and trust myself and my gut because I am in complete control, whereas there is an algorithm and coding involved that keeps the machine going that I am sitting in 500,000 feet in the air just in a cart with a little strap to keep me safe. That could potentially malfunction while I'm going fucking 500,000 miles an hour. All that G-force, sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if parks don't maintain them. And a lot of parks, I'm sorry, but a lot of parks are pretty fucking lazy. And they've been known throughout history to be able to pass inspections and things like that and kind of dodge inspections. So just be careful of the rides that you go on. And if you see anything sketch, like for instance, we went to Elitch Gardens and there's a Ferris wheel there. It is so fucking old, dude. So old. And me, my fiance, I was pregnant at the time, and my son was 2. And we all got on this thing, and it sways you back and forth while you're going around. And you can see the whole city of Denver in it. And it's awesome. but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be worth it. But before we got on this little ride, we looked and saw these aging bolts on the side. Had us real shook. Anakin, my son, did not care whatsoever. But, yeah, no, we were sketched the whole time we were on that Ferris wheel. So just check for things. If you notice anything super weird, though, like a nut missing, bring it up, maybe. Not saying that they're gonna immediately do anything or they're not gonna brush it off, but I'm just saying, play it safe at amusement parks, guys. That's it for this video. As always, I appreciate and love every one of you. Don't forget, do not forget, we got our clothes, we got our merch. So, go to psychedelicexclothing.com. You can check out our, we have a dime bag hoodie that is a super big seller, and then our canna line pants are really, really big as well. And we've got tons of other stuff, so go check it out. Thank you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.